And this is The In Show. And I'm your host, Gus Summers. Good to be back with you today. That's right, we are broadcasting live on the Sunset Strip in the entertainment capital of the world, Hollywood. And we have a great in-studio guest all the way across the pond, Mr. Trevor Sewell. That's right, I hear hordes of applause. Trevor.
Hiya, Gus. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well.
Great.
So you come from England.
Yeah.
You traveled all around, then you end up in Vegas, and then you made your way all the way over here.
Yep.
I would like to say just for the In Show, but you are actually nominated tonight at the Hollywood Media and Music Awards.
That's right, yeah.
Fantastic. You know, I should ask you, how was the drive?
The drive was pretty good. It was we hit a little bit of weather on the way down, but it was interesting anyway, you know. So yeah.
Fantastic. So what were you doing in Vegas? Playing a little some gigs out there?
No, actually, it's the one night that we've got off since we're here, so we just thought, why not go to Vegas? So we just went up there to have a look around and things, and it was, it was a pretty cool place.
So you went to go get in trouble, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
I lost the deeds to be ranch and things. And
Yeah, understand. And you came with a couple of mates.
Yeah.
Yeah, please tell us who they are.
Okay, this is Les Young. Les Young is from the Wall to Wall blues program in the UK, and this is my friend John Alexander, who's just really good mate, who's come across, and he's been just come across to have a good time, you know.
Fantastic. Les, John, thank you for joining us as well.
Yeah.
And I know
John actually organises as well, so he's sort of like the tour manager.
Okay. So he's the one that planned the trip for Vegas.
Yeah, he's the one who's planned everything so far, you know, to say.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So how long have you known each other? Quite a number of years?
About 20 years or something?
Plus.
Yeah,
20 years
plus. Yeah, so it's
Really?
quite a long time now.
Well, all musicians? John, Les?
No,
No?
not a thing.
Not a thing. just appreciate aficionados.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. You know, it's wonderful when your friends and you have the thing in common, and they're so supportive of you. That's
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's really great. You know, I've got a lot of friends that go back like a long way.
Right.
You know, it's like I met John too, just actually come at me gigs.
Yeah.
And we've gradually over the years become sort of really good mates. You know, so obviously that's why we're out here now. So.
Right. Fantastic. And the big thing is that because you are nominated,
Uh-huh.
you know, for one of the songs that we're going to play.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that song.
Okay. We're doing the Train one first. Okay. Yeah. The Train is actually the new single from because I've got a band back in the UK, the Trevor Sewell band, and this one's called The Train. It's off the new album, which is actually released today. The new album's called Independence, and this is the very first track on it.
Very first track, and this is the one that's nominated.
Yeah,
That's
it is, yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah,
And
really
so I'm assuming it's about a train.
How did you
How
guess?
did I guess?
God, that's unbelievable.
Master of observation
Yeah.
and such.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Well, you know, let's give that one a whirl since we promoted it and it's up and ready to play. All right. So here's Mr. Trevor Sewell and his HMMA nominated song, "The Train."
This story about a train that's all. Come on, train. Come on. Have mercy. It just keeps rolling on and on and on. Gaze into my eyes, see what you've done. You've taken all my self-respect, much more than anyone could ever need anybody else. That's how I wanted you, still do. You pulled me in, you spat me out. Now I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna stop your train right now. I'm gonna stop you in your tracks. Come on, train, disappear and don't come back. Come on, train, come on, come on. I said, have mercy. Come on, train.
Come on, train. Mercy, honey. Fantastic. I love it. Now tell me a little bit about what we were talking about off air right now, but the new instrument.
Oh yeah, the cigar box. Yeah, that was the first track we recorded with the cigar box guitar, and it was just I'd sort of seen them about. I'd never really tried one before, and I ordered one off the internet. But I had the bloke recommended to us, and it came, and I thought, well, I'll just take a chance on it. But I was really lucky. I just plugged it in. It sounded great straight away, and I wasn't used to the tuning on that, so I just thought, like, I'm just going to do it on this tuning anyway. So it made us play different ways, And it's like I love playing it. It's a great fun instrument.
When I was mentioning it, isn't it wonderful when you discover something new and your mind just starts going quickly in all the different directions?
It's just great, yeah, because it's like sort of starting again, but you discover some, but there's some things feeding from other stuff what you're doing. But yeah, no, I love it, yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Yeah.
How you got started in music?
Right. How I got started was one day my brother brought a guitar in, and I was sort of, I'd never even thought about one before, and he brought one and he was like learning how to play a bit, and I was like sort of playing about with it a little bit, but I didn't really know anything to do on it. And then I don't know what happened. I gradually just started playing more and more, and then my mum and dad went and bought me one, and then I just became sort of like I was just playing it all of the time, and it's
Right.
like that's pretty much once I started playing it, I couldn't put it down,
Your soul just opened to the music.
Yeah, just love playing it, It's like, and it's the sort of thing that would, you could go and win the lottery and win millions of pounds, but you wouldn't think, oh right, I won't stop playing my guitar. You'd think I'll play it more,
Right.
So it's I was really lucky to find that, because it's been fantastic all the years for me. It's like I don't know what I would have done without it.
Yes. And how about your brother? Did he continue in music?
No, he did for about a year, 2 years or something like that, and then he got he sort of got fed up with it, and he works for I think he's some kind of scientist or something. We're not really sure what it is he does, because we just don't understand it.
Yeah.
So he was the one who got the brains,
Oh, and you got the untangible talent that you can pull down and create music, right?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
There you go with
that
one. Of course. And tell me about some musical influences.
Okay, the very first album, this was once again my brother brought it in, that influences quite heavily. There's actually 3 albums that have influenced me really heavily. The first one was John Mayall with Eric Clapton and the Blues Breakers, the Beano album, where
Right.
he's reading the comic on the front.
Yes.
And that's pretty much what I started learning when I started playing. So I used to know how to play pretty much all that album, and then All You Experience by Jimi Hendrix came out, and I just went, wow, that's amazing, that. So I sort of learned most of that, and then I stopped sort of like learning stuff like that because I was playing all the time, you know. So,
Right.
but the influence are very much there. And then later, it was much later when I discovered Freddie King, and
Nice.
I love Freddie King. You know,
Yes.
he's great. You know, there was once I did some recording with a bloke. You might have heard him, called Pete Wingfield. He's had sort of like he's played with like lots of really big names and stuff, but I knew he'd played with like some. I didn't know until I went on Amazon
Right.
to re-buy the Burglar album by Freddie King, and I found he played on that, and it was just like I think I would have been like sort of following him around, getting his autographs and things if I'd realised that then, you know. But yeah, I love Freddie King. Great.
Right. Right. Oh, that's. Do you look back now and see your difference in the way you play?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of. I think the early days of the Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix thing, there's a lot of that has always just stayed with us. But when I started listening to Freddie King, there was something of that came into it as well. You know, I mean, maybe nobody else will hear that, but I know sort of where it's come from my point of view. You know, and it's. I mean, there's other people I sort of like as well. You know, but I'd have to say those three: the Burglar album, Are You Experienced, and the Beano album with John Mayall. They are my three main albums that sort of did it
Just
for us.
really influenced you.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what did you end up doing after a while? Did you take lessons? Are you primarily all self-taught?
I'm just self-taught. I've never
Okay.
had a lesson or anything like that, and I can't read music, and I can't do all that stuff and things like that. But I think how you really learn is you play with your mates, and like you might do something, and they'll go, "That sounds good," and you go, "Oh, does it?" You know, and then you can't sort of do it again, and then 2 weeks later you'll do it again. They'll go, "That was it."
That
man."
was it.
Oh,
Where's
you
my recorder?
Yeah, you remember that one, and you get to know the bits to stay away from, because I sort of see shapes when I'm playing really.
Oh, do
and,
you?
You know, yeah, it's like it's because I don't sort of, I've never like learned the scales or anything like that, but I do see shapes and sort of where I'm going. So I think it's quite a few people probably
Right.
go like that. But anyway, that's how it works for me.
Right. Your mind adapts to your ability to learn and how you learn best.
Yeah, you just sort of see something out of it, and you think, all right, I can identify that somehow. So
Right.
you get your own little ways of doing that, I guess, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It always amazes me how someone like yourself and other people who teach themselves, autodidactic, that their skill is just extraordinary. It never lacks, and they're able to do what everyone else who is formally trained, I guess you would say, can do, and I think even more.
Do you know, I think there's a lot in the fact that if you really want to do something and you really like doing it, I've never practiced ever. You know, it's like
Right.
I've never sort of thought, right, I'm going to practice something. It's like what I used to probably do is I might only pick my guitar up for like 10 seconds, but I might have done it 200 or 300 times a day. You know, like
Yes.
every time I'd sort of like go, like, all right, yeah, and then I'd put it back down again, go and do something else. But you were constantly doing that on a day in day
Right.
out basis, you know, and then going to play with bands on the night time.
Yes.
So I think it never. I never thought of it as learning how to play anything. It was just something I just wanted to do, you know. So
Yeah, out of that desire
Yeah.
brings the product. Fantastic. Trevor, so glad you were able to make it. And I'm glad hopefully you guys didn't cut your Vegas trip short to...
no.
No, okay, you ended just right on time.
We already had this. We already had this building before we went to Vegas. So
Fantastic. Yeah, I got to take a quick commercial break, but plenty of time to play some more music. Trevor, again, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
thank you very much, Gus. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Really enjoyed it.
absolutely. You bet. Hey, well, this is Gus Summers, and you're listening to The In Show. And we have in-studio guest, Mr. Trevor Sewell, and we're going to have a lot more of him in our next segment, so you hang in there. We'll be right back. And this is The In Show. And I'm your host, Gus Summers. Good to be back with you today. That's right, we got a great in-studio guest, Mr. Trevor Sewell, and of course accompanied by his good mates, Les and John. Gentlemen, thank you for flying all the way down from London. I'll just say that you guys came just for the show.
That's right.
That's right. Thank you, Trevor, for the affirmation there.
Yeah, we'll be back next week as well.
That's right. You got me on that one. So, I wanted to ask you, as you grew as a musician, what other influences came into your life?
Well, a lot of the influences were that I did. I sort of played with a lot of different types of bands, so a lot of influences were just the settings. You know, it's like I sort of played some sessions here and there. I played in residencies, so it was always doing different types of things. You know, which I've done for like a lot of years. It's only recently actually where I suddenly, when I did the Calling Your Name album, I sort of thought, you know, I just fancy doing just something just for myself, and I didn't have a market or anything planned. It was literally, oh yeah, I'm just going to do some songs, and I'm just going to do stuff that I like, and that's sort of what's brought us back to doing this on my own again, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess it's other musicians that I've played with. I like bits of everything, you know, like pretty much all types of music. So I don't think there's another one like a Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, or Freddie King that I could say. Actually, maybe Mark Knopfler. I've probably taken some influences from Mark Knopfler as well, you know, because he's a fellow Newcastrian as well.
Right. You know, your influences. British, American, were there bands that, you know, influenced you maturing, or not really? Just general music.
No, there's loads of bands that I really like. I mean, I like a lot of the really old bands, you know, like Allman Brothers and Little Feat and stuff like that, you know.
Nice.
It's who I was talking about coming up with Tony Joe White, you know. It's like I quite like some of his stuff. I haven't heard lots of it,
Right.
But there's also other bands, like one of my favourite songs of all time is a Charlie Daniels one, which is Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Oh, of course.
So I absolutely love stuff like that, and I like this sort of the folky country fiddly type things and stuff. You know, so I'm sort of, yeah, it's sort of pretty much everything, you know. But,
Yeah.
I used to, you know, we've obviously had lots of great bands across, you know, well, been to see them locally. Stray Cats, I used to really like
Stray Cats, very nice.
They were a band that really took me by surprise because they were really hyped in England when
Right.
they first came out.
Yeah.
So I went to see them and I thought, oh, is it another one of these hype bands? And it absolutely blew us away live. They were
You're right.
absolutely fantastic, you know, like Brian Setzer. And,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, just such a great live show and just such great musicians. So I sort of tend to go on a song by song thing. I might like something by somebody and I might never like anything else to do again, but I really like that track at the time. You know?
Right. Setzer, his bassist Johnny Hatton had him on the show not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah, great,
Cool.
great guy, wonderful playing,
Right.
and you know, the thing about them is that they're musicians, extraordinary musicians.
Fantastic, yeah.
You know, I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Those bands that you meant there, that's what differentiates them.
Yeah, it's also the honesty in it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you could tell that they meant it. You know, it was like
Yeah.
they hadn't just gone and learned some like rockabilly riffs and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It was like it was all the way through them, and they were playing like a band, not like three musicians that could all knew the way around the instrument.
Yes.
It was just a great experience, you know, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
But I mean, also actually, there's Robert Johnson. I suppose I have to mention Robert Johnson as well, because I
course.
think he's pretty much been an influence on everybody at some point.
Oh yeah, you bet. You know, want to take time, of course, to listen to some more of your music. So tell us about this one that we're going to listen to. 100 years.
100 years. Well, actually, that was a little bit of a link I did there.
Yes. Very nice.
Yeah, because this song's actually written. It's sort of like a kind of tribute to Robert Johnson. It was originally released on May the 8th, 2011, which would have been Robert Johnson's 100th birthday. So
Wow.
that's why it's called 100 Years.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait to hear it. Okay, so here is Trevor Sewell and his song, 100 Years.
says the man was born to show the way. I never knew you, I never met you, but I feel I know you just the same. And you roll on just like the river, and everybody knows your name. Like the Mississippi, everybody knows your name. A 100 years, 100 years, 100 years since that day. 100 years, 100 years since a man was born to show the way. All right. The road is long, the road is long. We never know what's round the bend. And when I'm gone, Lord, when I'm gone, well, maybe see you at the crossroads, my friend. Everybody knows your name. Everybody. Rolling on like the river. Rolling on like the rolling on like the river. Rolling on like the river. See you at the crossroads.
See you at the crossroads. You know what? You know, one of the things that I love just about songs, some of them create this wonderful imagery. You know, a lot of times, like love songs, they'll give you, you know, just the words.
Yeah.
But sometimes some of them create images for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that last line. I like that. You know, see you at the crossroads. You can imagine yourself, you know, there, and this whole music brings up that's wonderful. How long did it take you to write it? Was it something pretty easy?
Do you know what that was? It's like, sounds like one of those stories, but it was pretty much straight away. I thought, all right, I'm gonna do this, and I just sort of pretty much strummed my way through it.
And that was
and then
it.
I thought, was that it? You know, it's like, but yeah, and I recorded it very quickly as well.
Yes.
So yeah,
Isn't that amazing? Sometimes when it comes so quickly, like
Yeah.
you just said, is that it?
yeah,
You could this needs to take me a few more months. Then you're like, no, I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But sometimes you just got to go with that sounds fine. It's like, yeah, let's just leave it.
Right.
Because you can spend months picking it apart and making it into something worse.
Yes, and then you normally go back to what you originally had.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, so tell me about this next song. This is another nominated song for this evening. Tell me about this one.
Right. Talk to the Devil.
Yes.
Yeah. This was I wrote this about a year or so ago. And it was actually originally on my first album. It was on as bonus track, but so since I've got a band now, we've re-recorded it. So it's it's a really sort of popular live song, this one, and it's sort of a Delta influence thing. There's a cigar box on this one as well, actually. It's sort of like a Delta influence type song. It is what it is. Actually, it's about talking to the devil, but trying to make a deal with the devil, but it's never going to work out,
Right. Of course, yeah. That's always seems to be a one-way street, doesn't it?
It sort of is, yeah. Even if you think it's not, it's sort of always, it finishes up there somehow.
Fantastic. All right, so here is Trevor Sewell and his HMMA. Sounds like a fighting tournament, doesn't it? Now with the MMA. So, nominated song, Talk to the Devil.
Well, I talked to the devil, and he talked right back to me. Yes, I talked to the devil, and he talked right back to me. He said, better come with me, son, 'cause you is mine for all eternity. Talked to the devil, told him let me have my say. Yes, I talked to the devil, but he just said there ain't no way. Seems you've been a bad man, and now it's time to pay. And you will pay, you will pay. Right here, right now. Laughed right back at me. Yes, I talked to the devil, but he laughed right back at me. He said, better come with me, son. Now you's mine for all eternity. Welcome to my humble abode. Enjoy.
Talk to the devil.
Yeah.
Now, of course, debates the question: have you talked to the devil? And then the
Oh,
second
yeah.
question: has he talked back to you?
Yeah. That happens all the time, you know. It's like, but I sort of don't talk too much now, like, because I've realised you can't talk to the devil.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't talk so much since I've stopped with the Jack Daniels and everything, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's when they all start popping up, and you start seeing that the pink elephant and everything.
Yeah. Well, the pink elephant. Yeah, I still talk to the pink elephant.
Do
I
you
just
really?
don't talk to the devil anymore.
Doesn't come riding on him. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you don't have to answer this question, but just as we're talking, have you ever been in a stupor? Have you ever been pissed and written one of your best songs or worst songs?
I've done the first bit of that there, but
Okay.
I don't think I wrote one of my best or worst songs then. I think I was just like, just in a stupor. I
That's
think
stupor.
but yeah, I've tried that before. Quite like that.
Have you? You can give up the writing, but the first part you can definitely keep going.
It's some people say that the more you sort of drink, the better it sounds, but I don't think it does. Not in my case, anyway. Or at least not anybody else.
Right. Yeah. Some people do say, and that's where the addiction comes in. I play better or what have you, and whatever it is that they end up. That's fascinating. Yeah, we'll just leave the creative part out and just have a good time.
Yeah.
That's unreasonable?
It's okay to be able to separate them as well.
Exactly. Trevor, I'm having a fantastic time. Got to take a quick break, but we got plenty. We got one more segment to play some more music and have some more stories from the old days. Yeah. All right. Appreciate you coming in again. Hey, well, this is Gus Summers, and you're listening to The In Show. We have in-studio guest Mr. Trevor Sewell. He is an HMMA nominee and hopefully winner very soon. And, of course, we'll have a lot more of him after our quick commercial break. Hang in there. We'll be right back. This is The In Show, and I'm your host, Gus Summers. It's good to be back with you today. That's right, we have in-studio guest, Mr. Trevor Sewell of the Trevor Sewell Band, all the way from England. I was going to try to do my horrible British accent, because
very good, that
was it?
was
No,
English,
okay.
Very convincing.
Well, because, many Americans think we do, wonderful accents. Then you meet someone from England, and they're like, what's wrong with you?
We got sort of more practice, mate.
Just a little bit. Right? I wouldn't. Well, perhaps maybe I should. No.
Very good.
Well, I try, like in America, there are different types of dialects. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
And this is the California England dialect. How do you like that?
Yes, you're in the cave.
You're being so kind. Les and John are just rolling their eyes. They knew it was coming. So, Trevor, tell me about this next song. This next song has a very special story behind it.
Yeah, this next song is actually a duet with a girl from England called Lorraine Crosby. Lorraine's best known, I think, for being the female lead vocal on the Meatloaf song, I Would Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That. And that happened when Lorraine was living, she was managed by the same guy, Jim Steinman, and she was living in LA, and he asked her just to come in to do the demo for Meatloaf, and then loved her voice so much. And of course, now it's great because she's singing with me, so it's like, I'm sure she sees that, oh great, finally I've managed to get to sing with Trevor. I don't think she thinks that.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But she's a great singer, and we did a gig at Newcastle, where we come from, a little while back, and she came and got up with the band and stuff and things, so it's all good. And probably the next album, I think there'll probably be another one on with her as well. So.
Yeah, really? Wow, look at that. Already addicted to that lovely voice. Fantastic. All right. So here is Trevor Sewell with his song, How Does That Work?
That's the one.
All right.
How does that work? Will somebody tell me? Tell me, how does that work? How does that work? How does that does that work? Will somebody tell me? Tell me, how does that work? You see a monkey do. How does that work? How does that work? You see a monkey do. How does that really work? Tell me, how does that work? You see a monkey do. Monkey do. How does that work? How does that work? You see a monkey do. How does that really work? Tell me, how does that work? You see a monkey do. Monkey do. How does that work? How does that work? You see a monkey do. How does that really work? You see a monkey do. How does that work? You see a monkey do. Monkey do. How does that work? Monkey see, monkey do. How does that work? You see a monkey do. How does that really work? Tell me, how does that work? You see a monkey do. Monkey do. How does that
How does that work? Yeah, love it, love it. Love the sound. It was a great sound. Okay, we're going to try to sneak in a couple songs here. All right, so tell me about this little one. We're waiting for it to buffer here.
Okay, this is a live version of. It's quite old, this actually, but it's one of my favourite songs of all time actually. It's Devil Went Down to Georgia, and it's quite a different. It's a lot different to the Charlie Daniels version. But having said that, I love the Charlie Daniels version. And I still, that was a major event when I first saw him on Top of the Pops in England. I just thought, wow, what was all that about? It was
Yes.
like fantastic track. I wish I'd written that one.
Oh, understand.
Yeah.
Well, you wrote one of your own, which is lovely.
Yeah, seriously, I've got the devil bit in there, but
That's right.
I haven't got the jumping up on the hickory sticks.
That's for the next one.
Yeah, that's no, it's a fantastic song, Devil Went Down to Georgia.
All right. Well, this guy's still buffering. Let's see if we can at least get a couple minutes in there of it. All right. So here's Trevor Sewell and his cover of The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Well, Dad went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. And a bind, he was way behind. He was well to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on the fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump. He said, "Boy, let me tell you what. Guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to take it down, well, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet fiddle and gold against your soul, 'cause I think I'm better than you." I said, "My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take that bet you're gonna regret. I'm the best it's ever been." Johnny, rounding up your bow and play your fiddle hard, 'cause hell gonna lose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. If you win, you get your shiny fiddle made of gold. If you lose, the devil gets your soul. No way. Well, devil opened up his case and he says, "I'll start the show." Fire flew from his fingertips as he rounded up his bow. But he dragged that bow across the strings and made an evil hedge. And the band of demons joined in the end and sounded something like this. You gonna like this, Johnny? Well, no. When the devil finished, Johnny said, "Well, you're pretty good, old son. Now sit right down there on that chair, let me show you how it's done." And he played. And he played.
try again. But I told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best there's ever been. And he played. Like an angel.
That's the way it's done. You showed that devil how it was done. Nice. Fantastic. Fantastic. Love your rendition of it.
Thank you very much.
That was, powerful. And you made it your own, yet you can hear, it's the same song. You still sing with it. I love it. Trevor, we're reaching the end of the show. I do want to give you a chance to, promote any upcoming shows, your websites, anything, please.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I've got a gig in Santa Monica on Sunday.
Nice.
It's an afternoon one because we've got a flight at 6:30. But I'm
Okay.
on a 2 o'clock trip at Santa Monica.
Okay.
I've also got one. Oh, this is terrible. I can't remember the name of the place, but it's with Robert Heft anyway.
Okay.
So that's on Saturday night, I think. Is it something like Sweetwater Cafe? Yeah. I should have written that down there. Also, I've got a website which is www.trevorsewell.com, and I have a new album out today called Independence,
Nice.
which should be available all over online now. Anyway, I'd
Beautiful.
like to think so. Anyway,
Of course.
And
Which
for-
we debuted here.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. And for all that's in a different country, if anybody listening from where we come from, we're doing a Christmas show at the Clooney on the 27th of December. So
Beautiful.
I know you won't know that in Los Angeles, but they will know that in Newcastle.
Oh, well, we'll know it because we're connected, and of course we'll promote that show for you.
And actually, if we can just say hello to everybody at the Burton House at Burnetfield, because I said I would get that in, so you can back us up on that one. Then. But hopefully can we listen to this afterwards as well?
Oh, yeah, you bet. We're going to put it up and
Fantastic, right,
everything.
We've cracked it, I think, yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that, I think, yeah.
Yeah, was that everything?
Yeah, I think pretty much I am.
And of course,
Yes, the 4 pages, hang on.
that's right. And you're kind enough to bring us a little swag, some T-shirts. We got some extra CDs and everything, and flash drives. And of course, I'd like to thank you for that. And also, don't forget, let's welcome and thank your wonderful friends, John and Les, for joining us today and coming all the way from England and everything to enjoy your performance tonight. Good luck tonight. Wonderful music. Thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you for allowing us to debut it here. It's always wonderful when we're able to get a little something extra, especially like a debut like that. Trevor, fantastic music. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us, Gus. It has been a real pleasure.
You bet. And we're going to play out, of course, with another one of your songs. Tell us a little bit about this one.
This one's called Calling Me Home. It's from the new album Independence. It's possibly a little bit darker than a lot of the stuff that I've done, but it's just, once again, I just sort of do what I sort of feel like doing at the time, really, and it's called Call Me Home. It's like you'll get the idea when you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Again, thank you. Cheers, mate, for coming down and for taking the time with us.
Thank you, Gus, and I'll be seeing you hopefully later on tonight.
Absolutely, sure will. Hey, all right, well, this is Gus Summers, and you've been listening to The In Show. We had in-studio guest, Mr. Trevor Sewell of the Trevor Sewell Band. And, of course, visit us at theinshow.com, where you'll be able to catch up on everything that we've been doing and have done. And, of course, you'll be able to hear this, of course, once again, as soon as we get it up. And, ladies and gentlemen, Gus has left the building.